There are inventions from the past that seem deceptively simple at first, yet carry a brilliance that has allowed them to survive for centuries. One of those is the oil candle, a device that burns vegetable oil with a permanent wick, providing light for hours without the constant fuss of trimming wicks or replacing fuel. Today I want to walk you through making your very own oil candle, the kind that blends safety, efficiency, and the ingenuity of human history. Before we dive into the steps, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoy this kind of content, share it with friends who might find it useful, leave a comment if you've tried anything similar, and of course subscribe to The Hard Past for more deep dives into historical survival techniques and timeless solutions. The first thing you need is a container, and one of the most accessible options is a tuna can. It's small, durable, and already designed to hold liquid without leaking. In centuries past, craftsmen and survivalists relied on containers like these, or, improvised with whatever was at hand, to create long-lasting light sources. Once you've cleaned and stripped the label off the can, you're ready to move to the next critical component, the permanent wick. Unlike cotton or traditional wicks, the one we're using here is made from carbon felt. Carbon felt is fireproof, meaning it doesn't burn itself, but it draws fuel from the oil below, providing a steady, controlled flame. The brilliance of this system is that it's entirely reliant on the oil for combustion, making it much safer than candles or alcohol burners that can flare unpredictably. Now, here's where modern ingenuity meets historical practicality. You'll need a cement anchor, the type normally used to secure screws into concrete. In this application, it serves as the framework to hold the wick upright. When expanded, it splits into 4 legs that sit against the edges of the can, creating a stable platform for the wick to pass through. This step may seem odd at first glance, but it's a perfect example of adapting everyday hardware for survival purposes. The anchor keeps the wick perfectly positioned, ensuring the oil wicks evenly and the flame burns consistently. Historically, many survivalists would use metal or ceramic supports to achieve the same result, but today this approach is simple, inexpensive, and reliable. With the anchor in place, cut a length of carbon felt slightly thicker than the hole in the anchor. Roll it tightly and feed it through the anchor's central opening, allowing enough of the felt to extend above the can to create the flame. The carbon felt will wick oil from the can below, and because it doesn't burn itself, this wick is essentially eternal. This method has been used in various forms throughout history. For example, oil lamps from ancient Greece or Rome relied on metal or clay holders to keep a wick suspended above the oil reservoir, providing light for hours, even days. By adapting a modern material like carbon felt, we can recreate that same lasting effect with modern safety standards. Once your wick is in place, fill the can with vegetable oil until it reaches about 3/4 of the way. It's essential that the wick is saturated before lighting. When you first light it, the felt may produce a small amount of smoke as any loose fibres burn off. That's normal, and should settle quickly. Adjusting the length of the wick above the surface allows you to control the size of the flame, and because the carbon felt doesn't burn away, you won't have to trim it repeatedly. This process mirrors practices used in historical settings, where households would carefully measure the height of wicks in oil lamps to optimize light without excessive smoke or soot. In many ways, creating this candle today is not just a craft. It's a lesson in how people historically managed light and fire safely and efficiently. Safety is, honestly, paramount. Even though vegetable oil is, less flammable than alcohol or kerosene, you should never leave a flame unattended. Historical accounts from wartime or frontier life often recount the dangers of unattended lamps, where a single accident could destroy homes or camps. Having a smoke detector, a fire extinguisher, or even just a simple bucket of sand nearby mirrors the precautions of past survivalists who would always keep a water source close when managing fire indoors. Observing these precautions while experimenting with your oil candle ensures that you're not just recreating a historical method, you're doing so responsibly. The final beauty of this oil candle is really its simplicity and longevity. Once the wick is saturated, it can burn for extended periods, only requiring a refill of oil. Unlike modern electric lamps or disposable candles, this system is sustainable, cost-effective, and immediately accessible in any emergency. It also serves as an engaging project to explore with younger generations, allowing children and grandchildren to learn firsthand about practical survival techniques that have been used for centuries. You can even experiment with larger cans or different oils, adjusting the setup as you gain familiarity with how the wick draws fuel and how the flame behaves. By combining historical methods with a touch of modern ingenuity, you're not just making a candle, you're connecting to centuries of human knowledge, adapting age-old survival skills to contemporary life. These oil candles are proof that some of the smartest solutions were never complicated. They relied on observation, clever use of materials, and an understanding of fire and fuel. This guide gives you a chance to experiment, learn, and appreciate the simple genius of our ancestors. If you found this guide valuable, be sure to like, share, and comment with your results or any improvements you've discovered. And don't forget to subscribe to The Hard Past for more in-depth explorations of historical ingenuity, practical survival techniques, and forgotten knowledge from the past. Every click helps keep the channel going and ensures you won't miss a single project that bridges history and practical living.